Chandra Chejin Chen, Yasome Pon Shiva Jelas, Semchen Tan the near the Donchena, Tambanam Jinuntatsar the Sus. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good any times, anywhere or elsewhere, any existence of the times. According these times, I would like to say many tashdele. Now we are going to chat. Our subject matter, what we are going to talk, it is a very important text that you know. But you're the audience listeners, fantastic. I think you understood surely, perfectly, extraordinarily. But myself is still there is doubt, lot of confusion, and maybe some word is a lot of misunderstand. But when I study with you in relation this book text, me is very happy. Why? For instance, this 3 or 4 days, we explored some unfortunate our families, and that we call some uncomfortable sentient beings. And I may say it's like some our families. In the text says, in the beginningless until now, almost there's no existence any single sentient beings without connect to us. Sometimes they be our parents, sometimes they be our children, maybe partner, friend, anywhere. They are very much, we have connection. Once or the same or the when they connected to us, and there are such affection, love, caring, compassion, tolerable. And but anyway, maybe of course sometimes we argue, provoke, killing, stealing, doing it, but there is connections, and they are our families. Sometimes this kind of happened, even your families. I have one friend, couple, and they sometimes argue, fighting. And this husband says to telling to the wife, why you argue with me? Why you complain to me? Sometimes you are horrible. And she said, that's right. If I'm not argue with you, if I'm not complain to you, where can I complain? Who I can to complain? You are the most beautiful my object. I can to complain you, I can knock on you, I can beat you, I love you. Like kind of the different tests, different situations, There are sometimes enemy, sometimes friend, sometimes parents, sometimes children. And like this, there's this kind of situations, perspective. I would to say is like those sentient beings are our families. How it is, maybe may you think those insects, those animals, they are surely is never, because they are animals. Animal. They have tail, they have horn, they cannot speak human language. Why we have connections? Maybe may you think like this. But many, and look in the Westerns, wonderful kind of the histories. Sometimes animals, like birds, deer, even the wild cats, sometimes they recognize you and very much coming close. They never disturb to you. If you're more compassionate to them, they automatically become the friend. I'm tell to you, in America, there's one guy, you can look in the YouTube. He every day he went in the park. In the park, there's one small pond or lake. Near there is he's every day going to round. That you probably see already. But one day he met one swarm. Maybe some female or I don't know. He gave bread, but suddenly she looks like recognize him. More close. And then it's like also he's a little feeling love, attachment. Every morning he brings something, and then this swarm, and his voice heard. Then it's a few maybe weeks or month. When he go to in the near lake, he called this swarm's name is Mary. And he called the Mary, and she's immediately fly near him. And he give food by his hand. And he sit under some chair, and she's going to nearby him. And he's going around, and sometimes she's behind, sometimes in front. And slowly, it's very famous. And then one day he's come back home, and also she's flying on the top of him. She come back to him, and then is he going to in the park and like this. Then one day he has small scooter, I don't know, the motorbike. And he's driver, and she's flying top of that. Then it's like very famous become. But one day he something accident. He broke leg, and he need to go to in the hospital. But he's thinking his swarm, very much worried what's going on. And then he asked to some special like kind of helpers, say, can you see this swarm? If possible to catch, can you take care? And then they catch this swarm, brought in the animals. They take care. They told to him, it's okay, no problem. And he's like to recover like maybe 7-8 months. After he's getting better, he went direct into this animal's house. And he saw that immediately, he called the Marys, and this one so immediately run, like kind of hug, and it really looks like she's crying, so happy. But then it's like anymore, he cannot to take care because his leg is problem himself. And then he asks a lot, he cries to say, please take care, these birds. Many this kind of happened. And also in Tibet, there's mysterious. It's a really serious truth. You can to ask the Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Fifth, the reincarnation of Holiness, he become very strange. Sometimes he's run away. Once he run away, nobody knows where he is. He came to Truda in the North Tibet, we call the Amdo. One in the evening, he arrived in the monastery. There's one monk. He asked to him, "Can I sleep tonight in your house? I'm in the corner." Of course, this monk, he don't know his holiness or not. And he said, "Yes, no problem." When he entered inside, there's this monk has one monkey. The monkey see to holiness, immediately jumping on the neck and to kind of the hug. And then holiness also very much kind of love. And then during the night, the monkey want to sleep with holiness. And then it's there looks like communicate. Monkey says, the monk, he says, "My monkey is, how many years I take care, but he never showed me like this kind of kindness. I don't know, you have special connect." Yes. And he stayed there 7 days. And then after, it's difficult to him leave. And he said, "Can you take care of this monk, please?" And then this monk say, monk and monkey different, Monk says, "No problem. I love my pet. I take care." Okay. Then he left. Certainly someone is searching government, Tibet government. Holiness found it. And they took in the Putala. And then this holiness say, "Can you go he sent some person in Ando monastery, this monk. Can you bring with this monk and monkey together?" And then it's like he was very much surprised, afraid. What's going to tell me? And he arrived in Potala and then said, "Yes, now you need to visit the holiness." He entered into the holiness house. That was this monk. He asked to stay one night, or he stayed 7 days. That was holiness. He was so scared. "I'm very sorry." He said, "No, where's the monkeys?" And he said, "Monkeys very well. I can to bring to." "No, don't need. But she was my sister. And when I was very young, my one sister is died. We have very much connected. She reborn there, and this monkey is my reincarnation of my sister, and therefore I'm says." Like this, sometimes our families reborn, where we reborn, we don't know. We are like kind of sometimes thinking, "Oh, these lives, that is my father, mother, sister, brother, or my husband, blah, 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 blah." But it's truly, I think it's you accept or not accept. There is the rebirth again and again. Now even some in the universities, many professors, there's questions. When we died, something there is the survive or not. How you can to reply. Even those intelligents, they slowly discovered mind is the continuation there is. Of course, this body cannot, like it's changeable, it is material, understood. Body is not mind, mind is not body, but mind is come from, we don't know in the past. Mind is staying in the present moment, where I don't know, maybe you don't know, who knows? Maybe someone's. But mind is going to in the futures. Where mind go, we don't know. Maybe according to our present actions. And therefore, mind is one is traveling, and then there is sometimes mind all the times rebirth again. Or it's like kind of the mind is traveling. There is mentally, there is some connections, sentient beings, others. And this is also wonderful. We can to say, yesterday I said, sometimes we feelings, surely there is one mind, that is my mind. Surely when I see sentient beings, humans, animals, do they have really consciousness? Really they have mind? I don't believe. Then someone asks to us, "Do you have mind?" "Oh, yeah, absolutely, I have." And we think it's like too much self. I have mind, but others not. Then we have kind of says, I, my. That is me. I'm all the time saying, I, my. Then it's like very much fragile. It's like more fragile than the egg. I think egg is more stronger than us. And easily break. Very much fragile, like a water bubble. Maybe water bubble is more stronger than us. We are more fragile. And this fragile, very, very sensitivity, and fragile sensitivity, and fickle, and shakeable or shaking, unstable, all these kinds, too much concerning self, then it's occurring. I, my, I. Maybe it's like a kind of past is we forgot it, but we have some memory. Presently concerning I, whatever, even the kind of the small insect flies, we are scaring. Maybe it's the insect going to eat me. And maybe I'm going to die. Maybe I'm going to accident. Maybe I'm going to sick. You know, last time I sent the message to say, hey, all the families, take care to be retreat because it's the COVID-19, the virus. Better don't go outside, to stay at home. And it's dangerous. Someone says, yeah, he is diabetic, he's afraid. Why we need to take in care? I was so happy. It's true. Because it's like, yes, true. I'm afraid. But maybe you are not afraid. I'm very happy. But it's like, because too much concern the selfish, very much fragile, sensitivity. And also it's in the take kind of describe, but too much selfish to be the foolish. I don't know, fool or foolish. And then it's a lot of sickness. It's more like our body is contaminated. The contamination is the fragile concerning the self. Sometimes we call the self-oriented or self-concerned, sometimes selfish. And then it's like become the fragile, birth, old age, sickness, death, even that it comes from that. Most ignorant, too much kind of the sensitivities like this. Therefore, when we are studying Dharma, particularly like this kind of books, saying, please open your mind, be tolerant, explode the outwardly and the universal. What's going on? What happened? Which kind of sentient beings living in this world? And there is described, but they like kind of the 6 realms. It's really there is 6 realms? Sentient beings, do they have different like kind of the situation? And do they have different kind of the fortunate, unfortunate? Why? Who did? Why this kind of happened? We need to explore. We need to check. Obviously, we look in the human societies. Someone's wonderful, excellent, perfect, like a God realms. Someone is like very much poor, as much as put effort, worse and worse. Nobody is like you, criticize, and it's like everything is like what you do is all the times problems. Why it is happened? Then sometimes people complain, and yesterday there is distress, anxiety, agony. Then they want to make suicide. But we don't need to make suicide. Because it's like when we analyze in this kind of situations, there is such a sentient beings, the worse than we are. We need to think about that, to be more brave and strong, courage, generate bodhicitta, to be open, to accept to them, to help. And also so you need to help yourself, you need to help other sentient beings. That is truth. For example, I would to say how you can to help yourself. And there's a physically Trappist yourself, mentally Trappist yourself, verbally Trappist to yourself. When you are sick, physical problems, you should to take care of yourself. If you don't care yourself, I think who can to take care of you? Nobody's almost it. You need to see doctor, you care yourself. You follow up the doctor's scripture, you take care of yourself. You eat correct medicine, it's you supporting to you. Wash, clean, and eat healthy, exercise. Everything is like Trappisting to yourself, taking care of yourself. Then you'll become healthy, nice. If you say, maybe someone's helped me, lying on the bed with a very ugly smell, don't wash your teeth like same as me. Someone's coming, maybe if they are very kindly, they say, your toilet is some problems. Reality is not. And this kind of, you can to sit maybe 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months, 100%. Like same as me. Before, after some kind, my families push me. Exercise, take care of food. Once is very lazy, eating, sleeping, doing nothing, got diabetic, the problems. And like this, there's a physically Trappist need to yourself, self to control. For example, if you physically, to movement, to taking care of yourself, if you make happy to others happy, how much pray to you, how much say good things to you. They give you present, they become very kind. Surely you are happy. It's like when I check, like you are also same as me. If someone's coming to front to you, you are so good, you are excellent. I give you nice present, you are chocolate. That's also nice to say. You are very smiling. It's forgive small things how much we expecting. And if you change your behaviors, characteristics, and try to physically, as much as to be kind, to be others, then yourself is very much happy. Life is become wonderful. You have a lot of friends and a lot of like kind of supporter. Everybody says, look the holiness, Dalai Lama. Millions of people happy. Even that someone want to touch to him. When they touch, they are very happy. Why? Because he's all the time sending the compassion, kindness, showing the humanities, and even he says, when I visit someone, I'm considering myself is ordinary, normal person. I never think I'm a holiness, I'm a something. I never consider. It's wonderful things like this. And then you can really communicate, to be together. So. And like this, sometimes it's like some strange, like me, lamas. I'm great, and I cannot to be there. It's like kind of, I'm superiors, I'm noble, I'm rich, I'm better than the youth. And even it's like kind of you sit, it's best I should to be there. All the time is searching, where is the highest? Running to theirs. It's amazing. And then it's like people automatically hesitate. This person's coming and arrogant and proud, and look at the behaviors. Then it's slowly, there's a gap, destination, hesitation, and then there's not many friends. Then there's not much families. They cannot come into close to us. It's like this. I have this my own experience, and therefore we need to Trappist our body, and like when we are Trappist our body is like very, very important, and through this then we can be happy, and also it's like to order to make the good relationship with our families. Also we need to analyze. And in the book says like those samsaric sentient beings, they have very strong, ignorant, thick, dense, darkness. Very difficult to understand what is right, what is wrong. Like we call the childish sentient beings, it's a very much truth. Few months, years, a child, if you send to here, pick up everything's eating. Even sometimes the child makes shit itself and eat back. Even the difficult to test what it is. But it's like this is sentient beings they are under their disturbed emotions. And sometimes we say, those sentient beings very much complicated. I don't want to be there. It's not very good idea. Why? Because we need them. And also, in the Buddhist perspective, in the Bodhisattva's perspective, we appreciate to them. They are very important object to us. If there's no samsaric sentient beings, how you can to generate bodhicitta? How you can to take the path of the bodhicitta, compassion? There's no compassion, no bodhicitta, no kindness, maybe no enlightenment. And no enlightenment, where is the forever happiness? Therefore, it's in this world, particularly in our world, we understood, we can to see what's going on. Maybe we are talking about sometimes Pure Land. I don't know, some Pure Lands, if you're reborn, maybe you have some good tendencies, you have naturally, you can to generate bodhicitta. But sometimes it's very difficult because it's like maybe we think everything is okay, perfect. Maybe it's like you don't know the meaning of the kindness, compassions, because you don't need everybody's. Like for example, sometimes in our human societies, and like for example, first Buddha's families, like king royals. And also we have some in the rich peoples. They never think about there is the poor or complicated beings. And it's like a kind of your internet is okay? Okay. We have nyanya internet, sometimes nyanya. And like this, then it's very difficult to understand. We think everything is okay. For example, I'm now living in the Dharma city. Everything is fantastic. And my feelings maybe everywhere is like this. Maybe not only here. If I do not recognize in these wonderful situations, I can retreat. But everything's here, so we can to run and to practice and to making the compilation. It's like a pure land, really, if you recognize. It's a wonderful. But if you like kind of this thing, if I don't think others, here is like this. Surely everywhere like this, why I need? But maybe if you can to look into televisions, Africa, India, Pakistan, some there is, and the how do you say, Bangladesh, so much problems, poor, virus, dying, hungry, how much problems. And then you understand, wow, your situation like that, but we need to think about them. Like this, and also kind of therapist. You recognize your situation, your body is more comfortable, I need to more take care. Verbally also you need to therapist. Yesterday we created, there's another kind of the a workshop, or it's like kind of some system, like a Buddhism or Shaktablism. And also we have like this education of the Shaktablism says, sometimes mouth is all the time pep, 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 pep. It's not very good. You need a Trappist to a little massage, to shut it down, and what you need to talk, what you don't need to talk, very carefully. In idioms, mouths can destroy it very badly, like kind of all your happiness. It's like the mouth is the treasure of all the ugly comes from that. Therefore, we say it's like the mouth is sometimes we need Trappist. And when you talk, when you say something with your mindfulness, what do I need to say? What I need to cannot to say? These things very much care for them. Sometimes it's like kind of destroying life, make up to yourself, to others. Therefore, we are very happy the Shaktablism, and we have like there's maybe already they wrote 2 books already. We will quickly publish to offer to you. And like this, then it's inside how to Trappist your mouth. And mentally Trappist, very, very, that is already, there's 108 volumes. You say 84,000 and books guideline by written Buddhas. That is like kind of the mind Trappist book. And of course, mind Trappist, self-mind Trappist. And sometimes it says, when we are like yesterday says, distress and agony, or the like kind of the sufferings, problems, isolated, kind of narrow mind, sufferings, same as the sometime occurring the situation of this hot, 8 hells. In this kind of situation, sometimes in your mind, really you want to cry, you want to like kind of jumping into the water, or you want to kill yourself. Something this kind of unbearable and sufferings. That moment you need to Trappist yourself, mind is. You need to open and to be tolerant how it is going on externally, in the between, inside, to check. You need to kind of give education to your mind. You need to say, what has happened in mind? You are so much fragile. Now you have like kind of anxiety, distress, sufferings. And where is the come from these sufferings? How it is happened? And in this world, there are like kind of some situation is worse, millions times worse their sufferings. They are not kind of making suicide, doing nothing. They are also kind of the dealing, which kind of, in your situations, everything's fantastic. And you more think, mind, you have your own nature reality. To carry into that, there's some wave of your mind, expression of your mind. It doesn't matter, you don't need to care that. Focus on your essence, nature, pure part, excellent, on death, birthless. This part may be peace and the comfortable, and inside the clarity, lucidity is naturally occurring. Then you are Trappist to your mind, to yourself. That is wonderful. In order to do the Trappist of body, speech, mind, we need to analyze externally. We are like externally, there is like analyze in the relatively. Of course, there are the 6 realms. And even if you can to say there's the 6 realms included inside of the 3 realms. And sometimes we say form realm, desire realms, formless realms. That is our universal cosmologies. then whoever living inside, there is so many different situations we should to explore and to understand. We analyze them, then how we can to treat our own self. It is very important. We can to understand. Therefore, then is we came to through yesterday all the different type of the hot hells, and also there is the how do you say is the neighboring hell, or the there's another like supplementary hells, and this one is like yesterday we already studied like how do you say it's like a 4, and near this ultimate torment, the Vajja hells. There's like kind of the cardinal directions. There's the ditch of the flaming embers, marsh of the rotting corpse, planning of the bursting weapons, forest of the trees with a razor edge leaves. And this one is like we have 4 each cardinal directions, like a 4, 4, 4, and then it's become the 16. Then there is another ones, and near there is, we call the iron shamali trees. And shamali is just one tree, and you can to look in this is a Sanskrit. Also in the Sanskrit, sometimes similar, or sometimes shamali similar, samali or something. Also we in Tibet we use this direct, and very, very special tree. Itself has some red flower to blossom. Looks like a little bit like kind of the rose, and like a big tree, very huge, and you cannot to touch, and full of the needle. It's really, this needle is very strong, and this we call the shamali trees. In the some, I think is in India, but also sometimes they import different countries, because itself sometimes has very nice red flower. Therefore, shamalis, and in the hell, this tree is like awful. It's the tree, but it's the iron leaves, and these needles are iron, and like this kind of. But there's later is more explanation. And now today is we are explored or the analyze the pit of hot embers. It's like kind of the pit of hot embers means it's like yesterday I said it's like when you make a big fire, and all the wood, all the fire wood is burned. There's no any more smoke, and the top of there is like kind of ash. But inside there's still fire. That is the pit of the hot embers. It is like you put the feet there, is absolutely can't burn. Like this. How's it go on? Like this. When beings have purge most of the effect of the actions, to get connected with the hell of ultimate torment, and emerge from it, they see far away in the distance that looks like a shady trench, and it's like kind of they can to say yesterday in the Vajja ultimate torment hell. It's like it's very difficult to escape. Almost they said the forever. That just is like they stay long times. There's not forever. And of course, while we need to stay there, but sometimes here, look, there's some like kind of the prisoners. It's like, looks, when someone is a go to prisoner, maybe first year, second year, maybe very tough. The guardians and the police maybe torture you, more taking care. Maybe you change your attitude because maybe someone needs to stay there 5 years, maybe fourth, fifth, it's like kind of 3 or 4 years, maybe you can go outside. If your attitude change, maybe almost you are free. Why you live there? But it's like you need to completely to year. Sometimes it's like you can to say, you normally it's like 5 years, but you change attitude, your purification is fantastic. 2 years after 1 year, you can to leave them. Like exactly like this. In the period of action, the cause make the rebirth in the ultimate torment hell, the hell of the ultimate torment. I need to repeat properly, the hell of the ultimate torment. Maybe these purifications like kind of more like disappeared, exhausted. Then there are some those beings emerged from it. Sometimes they can come out. And they can coming like kind of the coming out, they can to see far, like the far away in the distance, looks like kind of the mirage. Looks there is the trench, shady trench. But of course, this is not that, but they're very happy. It is like kind of, maybe how many years they roasted in this, hell of ultimate torment. And maybe it's the eons they couldn't drink, they can't eat, and torch by the fires, this kind of happen. They see like this, really like kind of hurry up to go to them. They leap into it with the delight, only to find themselves sinking down into a pit of the blazing ember with burn their flesh and the bones. This is like in this testament. It is like kind of the leap into what is that? And a very, very strong pit of the blazing embers, pit of blazing embers. This is like already I said, this like kind of the shady is to trend, means it's like there is the fire half is burned. For example, when we make this coal, charcoal, it is like you burn everything, but charcoal is still there's a fire, no smoke, top of the ash, but if you go there, it's very hot, like kind of the pit of blazing embers. And of course, they are like so much thirsty, so happy, kind of jumping inside, leap into with the delight, only the inside kind of automatically delight. Maybe there is one film, very nice, I wanted to recommend to you. And this kind of happened. There is one guy, the name of the film, I forgot it. And he met one woman in the sea, near the sea. Then they are married. They have 2 kids. And then it's like they sending kids to in the school by bus. And then it's like a bus's accident, died. And then it's like he's so much suffering, parents. But once it's like when he going to office in the tunnel, and there's some in the tunnels, big accident, and also his accident, he died. But he loved too much families, and he don't recognize his death. I think the few films you can to see this. And then it's like, of course he dead, but he's like, imagine, he see his 2 children, and sometimes he come back to the home. and he talked to his wife. Say, I'm here, look at me. But she can't see him, she can't hear either. But sometimes she feel like this, and she's very scary. Because something is like, looks like air or birds or something makes sound. Then it's like a kind of feel. And then she's like, and she's crying, and he said, why you are crying? But and then suddenly he changed, his visions changed. And sometimes he see this nice flower in the far away. And inside he saw that his children and wives are running there. And he run to their calling, suddenly arrive in something very like a mixed kind of muddy feeling in there. He says, there's no of his family. Like this is I think this film who is made it like kind of the Buddhist, like the robot from the Buddha's teaching, this kind of. But anyway, it is very wonderful. It's like this kind of situations. Exactly now what we are talking about. This neighboring hells. Those are some is like beings emerged from the like hell of ultimate torment. And then they see something, they are running there. Of course, there's nothing kind of comfortable area. It's like kind of lot of like pit of blazing ember grounders. Then they arrive there, burn the flesh and the bones. This is the first neighboring hell. What we call how we call this one? Do you know these names? These hell's names. You are looking at book. Okay, of course. Then in the book I can to say it's called the pit of hot ember. You know, pit of hot ember. Ember is like sparkling of the fire. And also, even if we don't know about the name of these countries, how we can to explore. Like this we need. Okay, second neighborhood hell is called the swamp of putrescent. I didn't know. Putrescent. Putrescent. Yeah, this putrescent corpse, putrescent, smelling, ugly, and swamp is you can to say is like the bumpy ground, and it's like very much muddy, like kind of the mud is the come from the rotten corpse. There's a swamp of putrescent. For me, it's this accent is horrible. It's okay, don't worry. You understand that. You know, same is like this. Those sentient beings who ever reborn in the hell of ultimate torment, and they kind of a little bit kind of exhausted this cause, and they emerged. Something is like kind of the coming outside. In the same way, they see it's a far away river in such distance. And of course, having been roasted, those sentient beings, in the hell of ultimate torment, braziers for a whole kalpas, extremely brazier for a whole kalpas, like kind of the cooked in this fire, roasted, years, the whole kalpas. They are so thirsty that seeing water fills them with joy, and they run towards it to quench their thirst. They think how much I want to drink. and I want to make the really like kind of quench and to take away my thirst. It's happened. I take examples. You see in the Africa, you can see the national preserve areas. There are so many different animals. Some in the summer seasons, weather is dry up and there's not many water. Though some buffaloes, there's so much hunger, like thirsty. But grass is everywhere, but no water. Then they are running miles, they need to go to the searching water. And finally they find some water, and they run into the jumpings. But in the water, there's many crocodiles waiting them. Lions, other bits, they're waiting them. They try to drink water, immediately crocodile catch, they lost their life. Like it's this kind of situations. Those like sentient beings in the far from, they can to see, looks like water. And according to their thirsty, they are rush towards in this place. Of course, when they arrive, but of course, there is no water. And awful is a dangerous situations. What is there? Far from there, there is the nothing but corpse. The corpse of man, corpse of the horse, corpse of the dogs. Maybe it's like kind of this is explanations here. Okay, it's like kind of the example. Maybe those corpses are not necessarily the corpse of the man, horse, dogs, who collect to them. But this is the habitual tendencies. According to the habitual tendencies, like kind of maybe it's the humans. Maybe we are in this life, horse. Maybe we are in this life, dogs, cats, any kind of. We perceive a lot in those other sentient beings. We in this see that this muddy, like the how do you say, smelling and the areas. And then it's like beasting with the, sorry. How do you call this? But there's, I'm going more back, like protestant corpuscle. And when they see that this river in the distant, and this river is a very much kind of swamp. Swamp is not by the earth. Maybe it's like kind of feelings, blood, and smelling. And whatever we perceive at that moment, those sentient beings perceived, maybe according to their habitual tendencies. Maybe like before their tendencies see the human, horse, dogs. And then also they can to see those corpses are like this. So it's like if you have different habitual tendencies, I think it's not necessarily to see the corpse of the humans, corpse of the horse, corpse of the dogs. This is just an example when they're like this, but anyway like this. This kind of sometimes is situations. You can to look, there is one film. It's called the red blood. You know, in the American Indians, when before the Americans, white people came, they are the original is Indians. They are killing each other. There is also one special, it's like kind of the religious. This people is a little different type of the human beings. And this other one is like more Indians. Other one is like doing very strange to put his wood and everywhere it's like kind of make a hole, and like this. And then they make a wall. And then it's like they capture each other. Those others, they capture another India groups. They bring in the middle of the city, and in front of the king and the queen, they chopped, and very special days. And the human, they sacrificed, they offered. And then it's like top of, looks like stupa, and top of that, and they chopped the head, and the head is falling down. And someone's on the below, they want to catch. And then after also cup, they are thrown out, and also like rolling down, and blood is everywhere, and they are very much satisfied. And then they collect all this court on one area. If you see like this, like also it's like maybe, I don't need to mention it, but this year, look, some countries, thousands and thousands of human beings died. Where they put it? Maybe some in the like kind of the, they put it in the cough, I'm not sure. And some I heard, sometimes so many people died, they put on the ground. If you open that, how much is ugly. Like this kind of, it's happened. Sometimes we reborn there, maybe insect, maybe we are like different bacteria. We are maybe not enjoyed. We are don't liked, but sometimes maybe some beings naturally reborn in this cup, muddy. And it's kind of happened. This is just example like this. This neighboring is like kind of, how to say, it's like, I forgot it, the swamp of putrens. Shut up, please. Oh yes, like this, but it's why not? We can a little bit to explore to really into maybe this kind of happened. If someone is like experience that, or someone's like kind of living at the moment there, or maybe who knows in the future, even we need to go to theirs, who knows. But in order to stop, in order to liberate whoever living that, we should to generate bodhicitta and really to serious to meditate, analytic meditation, and also it's like focused meditation need to do benefit for themselves. And like this. And then it's like, of course there are many different, these like kind of cups. All is like the decomposing, decompose, or the like decompose. It's like kind of the very much smelling, rotting, and like kind of the crawling with insect as the day decompose, rotten. This sometimes a little bit exaggerate translators. It's nice. It's like nice exaggeration. And the crawling means it's like kind of there is some is magnus insect to kind of the like full of the on this rotten and like smelling and these things, giving of them fruitless of stretch. And also it's like when they are arrived there, and they are like kind of the sing inside in this like kind of the muddies, and until the like kind of you like in the head they sink. Then it's like they are sink into this mire. Mire is the same as the meaning of the muddy, bumpy ground. And like a kind of the old until their head go under in this muddy. While like kind of the worms with iron, bigs, devour them, devours. Like kind of devour means it's like not chewing. It just swallowed like animals. And also there is like beaks. It's not a kind of normal beaks. It's their mouth is made by the iron, very sharp. And they are eating to you. It's not they are eating nicely. Sometimes it's like kind of swallowed. And have you seen there is a bird? This kind of happened. I will maybe send you in the birds. There is one bird, strange bird. And of course many birds, but they are like kind of the sitting, catch the animals, just to swallow it. Before die, many animals they do. Like this is like the David. David is like kind of swallow. And also it's like normally birds, particularly eager, hawks. This beaks is very sharp, very strong. But those birds, the worm, and like kind of the insect, they beaks is so sharp. They like kind of coming and take out eyes, and where is the fat patty they are eating. Like this kind of the situations. And in these situations, what can we do? Whoever to have experience, really we need to send to some benefit your virtues, your kindness, your compassions. And also it's like also we in the futures, we never need to go there. In order to stop this destination, and we need to do something right now. And then third, the neighborhoods, neighboring hell is like this. The planning of the razor. This is quite easy to memorize the name. Planning of the razor. The plan is like kind of the big jungle. It's a very, very, very kind of flat. Whatever there is like kind of the grow up vegetations is like sharp. Same as a razor. It's like kind of the Japanese sword. Even you take out your hair and put in the edge in the part, it is cut. How it's like razor sharp. When they emerge from the swamp, and from this swamp is like this. And also I want to say it's like this. You know, and maybe those are the experience one by one. For example, one sentient beings a little bit become more like exhausted in order to stay in the hell of ultimate torment. And then there's like kind of emerged, or there's like possible to a little coming out. And then they are kind of the sea. And to first is like a, how do you say, it's like first neighboring hell is which one is? Memory words, the pit of the blazing hells. And then it's like kind of the everything's also the fire. It's of course there is no kind of the water or something shady first. But then they like kind of feeling there is such a suffering to coming out from that. When they are a little bit liberated or from that, again they see, that was awful. Okay, these shadows, forget it. And then it's certain to see some river and like kind of blue. And then they also, they run to destros. They arrive, there's the muddy, there's a swamp of the like corpse and like kind of the discompose and the areas. And like this, they are like kind of feeling inside. There's like such a need to deal and the sufferings. And emerged from that. And then it's the, a little bit coming out. They can to see like kind of there's another. It's like kind of maybe it's like he said the plan, some meadows can't you say, oh, first was horrible because it is like kind of the fire. Second is like muddy. Third one is maybe it looks like nice. I want to go to quickly. When they emerge from is the swamp. Swamp is like the muddy of the corpse. They are coming out. Then they are the like thrill to see at the pleasant green plant. And then says, oh, maybe now I can really go to those Greenland. Wonderful, it's like this. In the thrill, I forgot this meanings. This thrill. Can you see this? TRILLED is verb. Thrill. Thrill. I think it's thrill. Now I remember the extremely. I think same. And like kind of the enthusiastic, want to go there. Yeah, okay. To see the like kind of the pleasant green plant is a far. Sometimes it's truth. When I look in the some internet, you can look in the web, the YouTube. Someone's put, it's like very special cameras, recorded so many land, snow, forest, rocky land. And then you look at them, wonderful. It's really to make feel calm, nice. Then if I'm imagine, I go to in the middle of those lands, no food, no clothes, nothing, 100% is become the hell. It's just to, okay, it's your eyes, it's like nice, you see the snows, but you be there maybe a few seconds, it's almost impossible. And some is in the high altitude, there is like kind of few pristine water, big jungle, but very cold, uncomfortable. You go to there. But like kind of this kind of, when you see this, there's those hell beings. But of course, there is a different forest. But when they get there, they find that it's the bursting with the weapons, the bursting. Bursting is like kind of the painting brow, like kind of the, you know, it's a very, we have this in the, when you are clean, like rotten irons, you have special, it's like a brush and like needle, then you need to, like this, this green land is like this. Whatever you put your feet, it is like kind of the, make the, how do you say it, warm, pain, feeling is like same as we are right now. We can to put everywhere needle, we can go, for example, sometimes you without shoes, you go to in the sand, how much we can pain. If there's everything is like kind of the weapon and like kind of the bristling iron and weapons, and then it's a very difficult. Like this kind of, it's possible. Sometimes it's a situation there. It's like more and there is a detail. They say this, the whole ground is covered with the slender, blade, slender, blade. Would you like buy hamburgers? Blade of the burning hot metal ground, like grass, like this bristling. Oh yeah, this. Which the pieces their feet with each steps. If you one step, they are like kind of the distorted, and the other one is exactly like this, and each foot heals as they left it, only to be the excruciatingly stepped again as soon as they put it down. Excruciatingly, it's a horribly, it's amazing. It's like kind of the such kind of the problems, like kind of the sufferings. When you step, it's like kind of destroy your whole life. You the take out, put out, and then it's like become same as the before. Other feet is problems. Again, as soon as they put, it become like this. You take out, it's become the normal. It's like this is a kind of the according in the past actions, and this kind of happened all the time. Now like this, and then it's the fourth ones. One day is like emerged, or the like a little bit kind of the freed from this third neighboring and health. We call the plant of Razo, yes? And then it's like certainly taken to see is the fourth one is the forest of sword. Once again free from the how do you call it's I forgot it. First one. Third one? Oh, plant. Don't laugh. Plant. Plan, yeah, plan. Yeah, plan. I understood the plan and. Huh? No. Plan of Razos. Okay. Then is the fourth one is the forest of the sword. Once again, free from the plan of the Razo, and they say, now maybe it's a freedom. Maybe where can I escape? They rejoice to see a beautiful forest and rush towards it. Maybe there is a shadow, maybe there is a nice, maybe I can to pick up some strawberry. And if you have make competition for the strawberry, it's dangerous. Frozen. Am I frozen? Okay. But when they get there, there is no beautiful forest, absolutely horrible thing. And it turns out to be the thicker whose trees have sword growing on their metal branches instead of the leaves. And this kind of surely not happened. Absolutely, how you can say there is no existence? Yeah, in this world, there is such a desert. Have you seen the historically? Some Egypt, some in the Australia, even in sometime in Tibet. Maybe sometimes different. If you be in those desert, no water, hot, there's such a kind of other animals. You just die up. And this kind of who made it? You believe that? You can look some through the internet. It's possible. And also this kind of when we are like look at some trees. Some in the trees, you cannot go inside as we can shamali trees. If we have some in the forest, there is shamali plant. You go inside, impossible. maybe without cloth. Even you need a very strong cloth. Those looks like similarity shamali trees. If you go to into this forest, it's like a kind of the forest of the sword. They break your cloth. If you haven't got cloth, your skin to make mark blooding, 100%. This is why this can happen. Why this is exist like this? Who created? And we're talking about shamali trees. Shamali tree, for example, everywhere grow up the roseberry. Can you go to in the middle? The berries, the rose flower, not roseberry, rose flower. The tree itself is like a similarity of the shamali tree. If rose flowers full of in your garden, it's almost inside difficult to go, and then you can go without cloth. Can you possible? I think it's such negative experience. They are like really is like metal branches. It's like kind of to break your body. And then is that you believe or not believe that those who created, what happened? Maybe no one's like nobody can to see it. Shamali tree, or shamali tree is very dangerous if you go there. Maybe someone's not like kind of the belief. But shamali tree is, you fell on the shamali tree, 100% you die. Because this needle is like, length is like this side, this side, this side. And top of that is the really needle. Then it's like thicker, thicker, thicker. On the really in the bottom of this needle, maybe this side, this side. And the whole tree is like full of these needles. And if someone fell on this tree, it's finished. Bye-bye. And then I want is, who created this? Why this kind of happened? Which kind of this tree is, why they are like coming? But this is like kind of it's how previous actions and periods our karmic like kind of tendencies we perceive. If you do not realize it, we be in the relative situations. Those trees are far from beautiful, some nice flower, but you close, it's like same as this like forest of the sword. And also it's like, and I don't know, in Europe, sometimes in Tibet, also some is a low, very hot area. In India, some is Africa, some forest you cannot go inside because of the shamali trees everywhere. And it's like, it's impossible. Like this kind of is possible, and that is it's a kind of like this. Okay. We start before the 11:15, okay? 11:15. We start 11:15. I need to stop because I need to listen to Shatabuddhism teaching, and also I need to go to deliver areas.